Hello, online crew, and welcome to today's live, which will be really very relevant to you if you lack a little bit of motivation. Oh my gosh, my first few words I spit out on my first live of the week, and I can't even speak. What's wrong with me? Let's start that again. So, if you lack a little bit of motivation and kind of doing the do, so you know what you need to do, but you're not really doing it, and you're honest enough with yourself to sort of say, um, I'm not doing what I need to do, then I just won't stick around. Stick around. Hello, Alyssa. Thank you for your comment there on Instagram. Good to be back on live on Instagram. I wasn't live on Instagram or my business page or YouTube last week because I spent the whole entire week going live just in my free Facebook group, Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners, doing the Lead Generation Bootcamp 2.0. Who was on the bootcamp? Amazing boot camp. People were getting hundreds and hundreds of leads. Those of you that registered for the boot camp, I've just emailed out to you 30 minutes ago my template lead tracker Trello board completely for free for those that were registered for the boot camp. So that's a whole tracking system to track your leads, drag and drop, do this with them, do that with them. There's a video inside the Trello board as to how to use the Trello board. So that was emailed out 30 minutes ago, and the videos have all been taken down also 30 minutes ago from the social media group. So the only way you can access the replays now is if you become a coaching community member for a whole $1. A whole $1. You can get into the coaching community there, and then you'll be able to access the replays and the special training that we did last week and all the rest of it. So just refer to your emails. If you did register for the bootcamp and you want to get access to the replays, all the details are in your emails because you've only got 3 hours left to claim those special offers that I've given you as well. So if you want to keep on sort of learning and growing and building a business on social media, then there are options available to you. Okay, so those of you that attended the Lead Generation Bootcamp, I hope you really enjoyed it and got a lot out of it. The feedback has been amazing, but the videos have come down now. Okay, so who's here with me live? Please say hello. Hello, Marilyn, on Instagram as well. Good to see you here. So we've got Cherie on live, we've got Merla, we've got Tonya, we've got Beth, we've got Mike. Great to see you guys here. We've got Joanne. So awesome. And we've got Tonya here as well. So keep saying hello and chiming in. Just before I get into, my tips for you regarding sort of motivating yourself and doing the do, I just want to remind you of sort of what's coming up this week. Tomorrow on Clubhouse, we're talking about dealing with objections. So if that's relevant to you, which it should be to anybody in this industry, there's lots of objections to people joining, in our industry, then I highly recommend you tune into our Clubhouse discussion tomorrow. The live Q&A Zoom calls are on for the coaching community members this week. So that's your opportunity to jump on Zoom with me and ask me any question about your business or about anything. So take advantage of those calls and get some free mentoring from me, some free coaching. So all those details are in the coaching community Facebook group. And I did want to give you the heads up that if you have not sorted out your personal brand, that's one of the most foundational things that you should do on social media, because you're just going to waste your time unless you're actually developing a brand on social media. My branding course starts next week again on the 31st of August. It's like the 27th or 28th time that I've ran this course. The details are above. If you're a coaching community member, you get a $50 discount to that course. So just wanted to let you know that's on again. I only do it every sort of couple of months, every few months. So it's on again starting next week. Okay, so I just wanted to alert you guys to that. If you're looking for any information on anything or any links to the trainings this week, go to helenmartinonline.com/events. We update that page every Monday with what's coming on, coming up that week. And a special shout out to these particular people who have joined the coaching community in the last week. So that's Katie Wilcox, Christina Abbott, Sheila Houston, Tina Zufelt. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your names incorrectly. Barbara Naseby, Stephanie Bauer, Kim Harrison. Stephanie, check your messenger. I've got a message waiting for you there. Tara Flory, Evie Zensmania. Sorry, Evie. Soyini Sweeting, Paulina Prasad, and Saab Sahota. So congratulations for joining our coaching community. You guys have just got yourself access to thousands and thousands of dollars worth of social media training, practical social media training to build your business online, and with an order to go with that. So, and just so much more. So really pleased and excited to get to know you guys a little bit better. Okay, so let's get into sort of dealing with motivation. Who's honest enough to kind of say, you're not doing as much as you should do, like the actions you should be taking, but you just sort of not following it through, or you just know you're not doing the do. Let's be honest. And where this sort of hit me in the face yesterday is, and I did write a little bit about it on my personal profile, if you have a look at that post, is some of you will know that I teach a class at the gym every Monday morning. It's a pump class. We lift weights and stuff like that. And I just know, and it's not that I'm an unmotivated person, because I'm not, but I just know that unless I was the actual instructor, I probably would bail some Monday mornings. Like, do you ever feel like you should exercise, but you just don't? Or you should choose a healthier meal, but for some reason you just don't. Or you should do more in your business, but for some reason you just don't. Like, do you ever feel like there's things you should be doing, but for some reason you don't follow through and you don't do it? I'm sure every single one of you can relate to that. And I know, and I'm honest enough to say that if I wasn't the instructor at the gym, I probably wouldn't go every Monday morning. There's probably some Monday mornings I would wake up and go, no, don't really want to go, so I won't. And that's what we do a lot in life, because we act a lot on our feelings, and sometimes we shouldn't. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not so good. Because you know how it works. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and comfortable, and safe and comfortable doesn't get you out the door exercising. It doesn't help you cook healthy food. It doesn't help you build your business when you're comfortable, because you're just not doing the things that you actually make you feel a little bit uncomfortable to go and get really fit, to eat really healthy, to build a thriving business. You know what I mean? So what's my point with all of this? There was a couple of girls that walked into the class yesterday and they were having a conversation. It's like, well, if you didn't ring me this morning, I wouldn't have come. And it's like, yeah, well, I wouldn't have come either if you didn't egg me on, whatever. So they did it together. They went together. They had a class together. And it's like, I'm so glad we encouraged each other to come. So me feeling, I know I sometimes wouldn't show up unless I was the instructor. So I got people relying on me. And I think that actually helps sometimes with showing up, when you've got people relying on you, because it forces me to go and teach, because I know there's people waiting for me to teach the class. I have to go. So it helps me. Same in my business with you guys. I know you're going to show up when I'm live. So I'm just not going to not show up for you. So when there's people that are going to be there, you're going to show up. So it does help show up. But what if you've got no one that's relying on you? What if you don't have a team yet that relies on you? What if you don't have a social media following that rely on you to show up? You guys are the ones that probably lack a little bit sometimes of motivation and showing up for yourself, because no one's really relying on you. Would that make sense? But what helps you? So watching these girls at the gym yesterday and knowing how much better they felt afterwards, and they thanked each other for I'm glad you showed up because I showed up, and whatever. My point to all of this is, if you're not where you want to be, you're not getting the results that you think you should have by now, you're letting yourself down because there is no one relying on you. And unfortunately, human nature, when you don't have anyone really relying on you, well, let me put it this way. How many of you have a husband or a wife or kids or grandkids or even grandparents or elderly parents that rely on you for something and you're always there for them? So you will show up for people that rely on you. Those with kids, you probably drive them to school, you pack their lunchbox. Those of you that are grandparents, you'll do things for grandkids. Like the people that rely on you, like a husband or wife, feeding them, putting food on the table, whatever. When someone relies on you, you do the stuff, don't you? So what about in this industry, or even as an individual with food and diet and exercise and stuff like that? What if there's no one really relying on you? Are you actually really showing up? And this is where I find that people falter a little bit when you don't actually have a team yet, so no one's really relying on you. You don't really have a social media following yet, so it doesn't really matter if you show up or you don't show up. And you let yourself down because for some reason, we're quite fine to let ourselves down. You won't let other people down. You won't let your husband, your wife, your kids, your grandkids, or you won't let anyone else down. But when it's just you and that no one's relying on you with your things, what's important to you, your business, which no one else really supports in your family, that could be reality for you. It's okay not to do the do because you're only letting yourself down. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, are you hearing sort of what I'm sharing here? Because these are the people that I coach and I mentor, and it's like they don't have a team yet, really much of a team. Or they've got a bit of a team, but they're not really a serious team. So they're in and out of this journey anyway. So it can let you down. Now, here's what I want to say. If you know you're not achieving what you want to achieve, if you know you're not doing the do, like you know in your gut you should be doing more and you're not, but you don't have a team that's relying on you, you don't have a social media audience that's sort of relying on you, you're the ones that need something like either a mentor, a friend that you're working with, either going to the gym with or checking in what you're eating, or something like an accountability buddy, something like that in this industry to make sure you're doing what you need to do. You have to be honest enough with yourself to go and seek one of those few things out to get you where you need to go, because you're probably going to be quite okay with letting yourself down on an ongoing basis. I see it all the time. And not necessarily is that going to solve your problem. Like, I have people in my mentorship program that still don't do the work, even though there's accountability there, even though there's help there to do the work, they still let themselves down. So no one can do it for you, even with friends and accountability buddies. So there is that. You have to be responsible enough to go after what you want and stop making excuses. Because a lot of you believe your own excuses. You'll tell yourself, I'm too busy. I've got too many things on my plate, whatever it is that is your thing. If your business is important to you, you'll make time for it. You're just not prioritizing it because it's uncomfortable, probably, or you haven't had much success yet, so you don't really prioritize something you haven't had much success in yet. So it's the thing that gets last on your list of things to do. You'll feed your family, you'll take people places, to appointments, you'll do everything else, and you'll get to the end of the day, you're exhausted, and you haven't posted anything on social media. You haven't done your live video. You haven't done your planning. You haven't done your networking, your whatever. It's just that you're not prioritizing it. If you want to really make this industry work, and you're not the best at motivating yourself, or right now you're not doing the do, you need to go and seek something out, like a mentor, or more than one mentor, a friend that you can go to the gym with, that kind of thing, or somebody to help you keep accountable. And when you do that, then stick to it. Like, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to build your business for you. No one's coming to help you look amazing. No one's coming to help you lose weight. No one's coming to help you be the healthiest version of yourself that you've ever been in your life. So whatever you need to help you get where you need to go, you've got to take responsibility to find that support and that network around you. Because I find people that are most sort of successful or actually make progress and grow are those that have the support around them. Like, they have a mentor to pick them up when they're down, and we all get down. They've got friends or colleagues or teammates or whatever that help them keep accountable and go, no, 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 no. It's amazing if you listen to yourself, give other people advice. I bet you don't do half that for yourself. If somebody's down and out or not doing the work, or they're having a rough time, you probably give amazing advice to other people, but I bet you don't follow that yourself. Sometimes and this comes back to, we're quite happy to let ourselves down, which is unfortunate, but it's just the truth. So I just really want to encourage you to take responsibility if you're not getting the results that you're after, to go and seek out a mentor. Go and seek out a friend that can support you, that you work with, or even if they're cross-line in a team or something like that, but somebody that understands what you do and what you're going through and the challenges of this industry and those kind of things. Or hook up with somebody to be accountable to, and be accountable to that person and support each other, so you can, this is the crux, so you can change from bad habits to good habits. Because you're probably a result of things that you've done most of your life. If you've always been a little bit lazy, you're probably still a little bit lazy now until you break that habit. So sometimes we need a mentor, a path, a commitment, a friend, an accountability partner, something like that, to help support us for a while until we create new habits that then you can go and do it on your own. Do you understand that? So everything you do or don't do is coming from your habits. And some of your habits will be amazing and you'll do them really well. Most of you, I would hope, would brush your teeth twice a day. Like, it's a habit. You don't even think about it. You just do it and you look after your teeth, hopefully. So, kind of your business, your life, eating, exercise, all the things that make you the best version of yourself, they all come down to your habits. And either you've got really good habits or you've got some habits that need improving. But they don't just improve because you wish them to. Habits change because of your actions. So if you're not taking the right actions over and over and over again, then you're not going to break bad habits to become good habits to get you where you want to go. So if you know you're a little bit lazy or unmotivated or something like that, get a support network, a support system, some people, whatever it is around you, to help support you for a period of time to create new habits. And then you'll be able to work on the next thing because you've progressed, and it's like, okay, I've sorted that out. Now I need to go and sort that out. And you always keep growing because you're turning your bad habits into good habits. And then you end up becoming the best version of yourself you can possibly can, because you're always aware of what you need and you're growing through that. So I'm just encouraging you to take responsibility for knowing when you've got bad habits and you're just not doing the do. And the frustrating thing with this industry that I see a lot is that people think a lot about their business. They think a lot about social media. They think a lot about the content they want to create. They think a lot about networking and prospecting. So in their head, they're exhausted. But you got no more money in your bank account. You got no more customers that have joined your team. You got no more teammates that have joined you, but you're exhausted by the industry. It's because you're thinking about a lot of things, but you're not doing the do. The best way to overcome overwhelm is take action and do the things that are uncomfortable and prove to yourself you can do them. And when you do that, you create new habits. And what was once scary to you is not scary anymore. And then you go and do the next thing that was a little bit scary, and then it's not scary anymore. And you just become this amazing version of yourself somewhere down the line. You got to take responsibility for what it is that you want. If you're happy with being a little bit lazy and unmotivated and not getting any results, then that's cool. But if you're not happy with where you're at, no one's coming to save you. You have to get out of your own way, recognize what it is you need, and go and seek it out. Whether it's the support of a friend or a mentor or whatever, the last thing you should do is stay in your own head with your own problems. You know what it's like when something's going on and you just have a chat to somebody or talk something out and you feel so much better after you've talked something through, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, but you've got to take responsibility for opening your mouth and, finding the support networks that you need. Okay, so just checking in with a few of your comments. Of course, from Beth, we can all relate to that. I know we all need accountability buddies. Alan, who's Beth's husband, would eat wieners and beans every night if I didn't cook. Yes, yeah, hubby. That's true, and I really don't quite understand letting myself down because there's no consequences. It's, when you say you don't understand that, Cherie, it's just, I didn't get it done, no harm done. You're not letting down other people. But we take pride and we care about not letting other people down. Like, that doesn't sit well with most of us. You don't consciously want to let other people down when it affects other people. When it's just us, we deal with it. Like, it's a terrible thing because we shouldn't let ourselves down the way that most of us do. Okay. Yes, Ford, it is. It's too easy to slide. I can pretend busy stuff is important and urgent. And it's when people get overwhelmed and you actually counsel them through it and go, okay, what's on your plate at the moment? Like, let's talk this through. What's the reason that you're so stressed and so overwhelmed? And when you actually lay it out on the table, and it's like you've got a list of things to do, and do this with your own list of to-do things. This is a real catch with to-do lists. For those of you who's a list person, I am a list person, but I've learned to manage my lists because you can write a very long list, and guess what happens in your brain? You look at that list and you go, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. This is completely overwhelming. But when in reality you go through the list, okay, how long is that going to take you? Oh, probably 10 minutes. How long is that one going to take you? Oh, probably about 30 minutes. How long that? Well, that's actually just a 5-minute task, that one. And what about this one? And when you really actually look at realistically, that big list could actually take you about 4 hours to get through if you just concentrated on it and got it done. So lists can play with your head because the longer the list, it just means overwhelm. And yet, if you really, really look at the things that you need to do and how long they're going to take and just plan them out, most of it just comes down to planning. And I've mentored enough people in this industry to know that those that plan well get more done and are less stressed and actually get more results in their business. Those that are not planning, they're everywhere. They don't ask questions. They get lost and don't say anything. And that plays on their head for 7 days. Then another 7 days has gone by, and because they haven't asked a question to sort out what the problem was. Like, you can just pick the people that are going to do well or those that sit in their own overwhelm. So you've got to take responsibility for your confusion or overwhelm and ask questions and sort things out and get a support network and all that kind of stuff. Karina, easy. I always say there's not enough hours in the day. I would be guilty of saying that too, Karina. It's what is the priority for that day. And for some of you, like the list people, the priority for that day may not be a priority for that day. It could be a priority in 2 days' time, but it's on your list and whatever. Like, if you just really look at things and prioritize what you need to do in a day, because here's a reality check for every single one of us. There are really, really wealthy, successful people out there, and then there's not. No one has any more time than anyone else. The people that are really wealthy and successful out there don't have any more time than you do. No one has any more time than anyone else. It's still 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. So how is it that some people are multimillionaires and others are far from it? It's skill, it's knowledge, but most of all, it's action. It's prioritizing, it's planning, it's all of that. So, like, take all of that on board if you're not where you want to be. Beth, I had to go public about my walking for accountability. Now it's a habit. I did that with my live videos, Beth. Totally relate. Sometimes you need to make things public to keep yourself accountable. When I said I was going live at the same time, every day when I was going live 5 days a week, I announced it publicly. I was accountable to my audience to do that. I had to do that to make myself stick to it. So sometimes you have to say things out loud and then let people keep you be accountable to that. Okay? While I'm listening, I'm doing. So that can be good and it can't be good sometimes, Jeanette. So multitasking is a whole nother discussion. But while you're listening to something like me, like maybe you've got me on a phone somewhere, or you're driving and I'm on the side of the seat of you, or you got earphones in or something like that, and you're cleaning or you're moving or whatever, that's cool. That's all right. But if you're listening to a training, you shouldn't be doing anything else because you're not absorbing, what you're listening to. So yeah, multitasking isn't necessarily a good thing. Cherie, thank you, Helen, much appreciated. Good for my thoughts. Okay, cool. Ford, I disagree. Letting myself down has no consequences. Well, it does. That's the thing. My life doesn't change. I'll never retire. That's the thing. We seem to be okay with letting ourselves down, but we shouldn't be, because you'll never end up getting where you want to go. You'll never end up, like in Ford's case, you'll never end up retiring if you don't do the things you need to do to get where you want to go so you can retire early. So that's kind of what I meant by that, Ford. But there's no consequences when it's just us. But if you think about it, there are major consequences for getting you where you really want to go. You just won't ever get there. That's the problem. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I've talked long enough. Remember, tomorrow is Clubhouse. We get all sorts of objections to this industry that we're in, so I do recommend you listen live to that discussion or catch the recording and just really take some responsibility from, what we're talking about today with what do you think you need to do a better job to get you where you want to go, and be responsible enough to either seek out a mentor, find a friend, or find an accountability partner to help you create new habits so then you can go and do it on your own. Okay, but it's how the brain works and you've got to take responsibility for that. So just remember, there's only a few more hours left for those of you that want to join the coaching community at the special discounted offers, those that join the Lead Generation Bootcamp, because all the videos have come down and they're only in the coaching community now. So I look forward to seeing you on the discussion on Clubhouse tomorrow and then live again here the next day. Okay, bye everyone.